No, I agree with that, and I don't agree with that. Let me explain why.
Tesla and its valuation, it is, as someone who takes a very measured approach to valuation, it seems absurd that we're at $1 trillion. And what may seem more hard to believe is I believe this can be a $2.5 trillion company. I think there's still room for upside with Tesla. I think we're going to be having this conversation for years to come.
It's your big chance, Gordon. Let's throw in the towel. It's $1,000 stock and $1 trillion market cap. Let's throw in it. Let's turn. Let's go bullish. Let's turn it on. It's finally time for you. Let's embrace it. What do you think?
Absolutely not.
Oh, no. You're kidding.
Now?
Hey, I'm Stephen, and this is Solving the Money Problem. If you're new, welcome. If you're not, welcome back. So I'm beginning to sound like a broken record, but once again, a huge congratulations to all the Tesla stock hodlers. Tesla stock closing again at another record high. I think this is 4 or 5 days in a row, and Tesla's market capitalization now sitting at a healthy $1.1 trillion. And let me remind you folks once again, in 2030, this is going to look like the bargain of the century, in my opinion. In other words, we've got a long way to go. And I do mean a long way to go. If you guys are curious just how far I think Tesla stock can go this decade, check out the card in the corner, join Patreon, get access to my Tesla stock price targets all the way out to 2031. That includes my bear case, base case, and bull case. I've just updated these price targets again. Every time I make tweaks and adjustments to my Tesla valuation model, these changes are reflected in my price targets posted on my Patreon page. So if you're interested, head over and sign up to Patreon. You'll also get access to a ton of exclusive content, including regular Q&As and a bunch of exclusive videos and more. Now, if you happen to be a broke motherfucker or a tight ass, I'll give you a clue. Psst, come closer. I don't want anyone to overhear, ready? So just between you and I may have actually visually represented my Tesla stock price targets on a recent piece of merch. The design in question, of course, the updated version of Tesla stock to the moon. As always, there's a link in the description. You can pick up your own Tesla stock to the moon merch. There's pretty much everything you can imagine: shirts, hoodies, long sleeves, mugs, phone cases, and more. So check out the link in the description. But I just want to point something out once again. I admit it, I have a time machine, and so I designed this merch to reflect what would happen to Tesla stock. We can see on screen now. This is the point where I actually posted the merch design, and this is what Tesla stock has done since I posted the merch design. It is literally following the trajectory on this merch. Alright, I'm done plugging. Or am I? So in today's video, we're going to be hearing from Tesla's biggest bear, who seems to be suffering from serious butt hurts. As you guys can see on screen now, we are of course talking about Gordon the Butt Plug Johnson. I thought there might be another plug coming, and by the way, thanks to the viewer who DM'd this to me yesterday. You guys are awesome. Gordon will be sharing his thoughts on the Tesla Hertz deal and why it doesn't matter whatsoever. We'll also be hearing some comments from Tesla Bull turning into Hyperbull Gene Munster, who believes Tesla is not that far away from being a $2.5 trillion with a T trillion dollar company. So with that said, let's get into the video. If you love crypto, stocks, and free stuff, or just want to help out the channel, check out these great offers. BlockFi are launching the world's first Bitcoin rewards credit card. People in the US can earn 1.5% Bitcoin back on every purchase with no annual fee using the BlockFi Bitcoin rewards credit card. Check out the link in the description. And for a limited time, you can get up to $250 in crypto bonuses when funding a new account on BlockFi, where you can use cryptocurrency to earn interest, borrow cash, and buy or sell crypto. If you want your free crypto, use the link in the description. And if you'd like up to 2 free stocks, check out the link in the description to WeBull. If you open a new account, you'll get 1 free stock valued up to $300 just for opening an account. And if you make an initial deposit of $5 or more, you'll get a second free stock valued up to $2,000. Seriously. Free stocks? Yes, please. And finally, if you're in Australia, the UK, or New Zealand, you can get a free stock with stake, also linked in the description. Thanks so much for your support, guys. Let's get back to it.
Gene, my first question for you is: you look at all the other automakers, and you look at their valuations relative to Tesla. Are they all undervalued?
No, I don't think so. And this is
you think they're properly valued, and Tesla's properly valued?
Well, let me back up. Is that I think that there are pockets for some of these other automakers. Obviously, Ford has done a great job. I think that there can be companies can turn around. They can get a tailwind within this. So if you look at the broader industry, I don't think that the broader auto industry is undervalued. I think there are companies within that. I think you're going to see some companies that have been around for 100 years that will be a fraction of what they are in a decade. And so
I agree with Gene Munster on this point, but I do want to elaborate. I've been saying this since day one on this channel almost 2 years ago. By the end of this decade, The vast majority of today's legacy automotive manufacturers whose primary business is producing internal combustion engine vehicles will not be in business. Some will make it, some will survive, but they will be mere shadows of their former selves, producing maybe 10, 15 or 20% at best of their previous peak volumes of vehicles. The rest will either go bankrupt and then get bailed out by the government and then go bankrupt again, or be acquired or merge.
I think I'm not trying to be cute with the answer, but I think there are pockets where some will surge. But as a net, I think the auto industry is going to struggle with this transition. And just quickly regarding Tesla and its valuation, it is, as someone who takes a very measured approach to valuation, it seems absurd that we're at $1 trillion. And what may seem more hard to believe is I believe this can be a $2.5 trillion company.
Now, obviously, I agree, but just to contextualize these comments, for those of you who don't know, what Gene Munster has said here is that Tesla can be worth more than the world's largest company today, Apple. Apple today, as I record this, a $2.48 trillion market cap.
Let me just quickly frame that in 5 years. Granted, it's a ways away, but this can be, we can go from 70 billion to 400 billion in revenue.
Gene, how do you know what's in my Tesla valuation model? I haven't shared this publicly. Wait. Oh, shit. Those women who've been throwing themselves at me on the street. I thought it was just the mullet. I mean, who could resist? Are they spies? Fuck. Oh well, it was worth it.
A 6.5 multiple on that, which is hardware, software, services, Apple-like multiple, is that $2,500 stock. And so I think there's still room for upside with Tesla. I think we're going to be having this conversation for years to come.
I totally agree with Gene Munster again on both points here. One, Tesla stock has plenty of room to go from here. And two, more importantly than that, yes, they will absolutely be having the same conversation for years to come. Tesla stock reaches new all-time high. Tesla stock gains X amount of billions of dollars in a single microsecond. Does the valuation make sense? Yes, it does. Can it keep going higher? Yes, it can. I can't wait for the day that Tesla hits a $10 trillion market cap.
Gene, I want you to react to that, but I want to ask you, I'm sorry, Gordon, I want to ask you a separate question, which is you seem to dismiss the Hertz news. And I think a number of Tesla investors look at that Hertz news and say, you know what, for Hertz to do this, they're going to have to build out a lot more infrastructure. And once you get that infrastructure, you get lock-in. It's all about lock-in. So it's not just a one-time story. It makes it actually much more difficult the next time Hertz has to make a decision between buying more Teslas or buying somebody else's vehicle. They pick Tesla. Do you not agree with that?
No, I agree with that, and I don't agree with that. Let me explain why.
Oh, poor Gordon, fumbling the football there a little bit, can't make up his mind. I agree with that. Wait, I don't agree with that. Let me explain why. Then again, I guess it's kind of difficult to articulate your thoughts clearly when your butt hurts so much.
So first of all, again, we don't know what the terms are on this deal. Typically, first of all, when an auto company sells to a rental car company, typically that's done from a point of weakness, not strength, because you have to do it at a discount.
Oh, Gordon, allow me to quote from Elon Musk's Twitter directly. To be clear, cars sold to Hertz have no discount. Same price as to consumers. Sounds to me like a position of strength. Hertz purchases 100,000 Tesla vehicles, over $4 billion worth of product from a single company, and doesn't receive a discount, not even $1 per vehicle? Come on, Gordon. I know your butt hurts. You've got to do better, man.
And you also have to basically buy those cars back after a number of years.
So for those of you playing along at home, Gordon Johnson there quite clearly suggesting that Tesla is going to have to buy those vehicles back from Hertz in just a few years' time. Stay tuned to watch that not happen.
Number one. Number two, it's only 100,000 cars rumored. We don't know the full terms of the deal.
Well, you guys heard it directly from the genius himself there. It's only a $4.2 billion order. It's only 100,000 cars. It's nothing. Drop in the water.
That's a one-time purchase.
For those of you who haven't been following along with the Tesla Hertz deal, Hertz have publicly stated since announcing this deal that this may be the first of multiple orders in the future. But hey, don't tell Gordon Johnson.
That's $500 million. The company has added $200 billion in market cap. And then number three, when you say they have to build infrastructure, all of these charging networks are open up to all cars. So I think that's important. And I want to address what Gene said when he says just look at the numbers. I would argue the same thing. Listen, in the third quarter, for the first time ever, BYD sold more electric cars than Tesla battery electric cars in China.
Here comes the strategic cherry picking from the class clown. Now, for those of you who don't know, which is probably only a few, but just in case I don't want to miss anything here, Tesla's Shanghai factory is now their primary export hub. The vehicles built in Shanghai are more profitable than vehicles built in Fremont. Tesla is exporting huge numbers of vehicles from the Shanghai factory, in particular at this point in time to Europe, until of course the Berlin factory begins operation. So let me ask a question. If Tesla prioritizes exporting vehicles and selling them in Europe from their China factory, does that mean Tesla has less vehicles to sell locally in China? Spoiler alert, yes. So suggesting that another EV maker in China has sold more vehicles in China than Tesla for the first time is a completely meaningless metric when we know that Tesla's exporting a huge number of vehicles outside of China temporarily.
And globally, in the third quarter for the first time, VW sold more electric cars than Tesla.
And of course, it's not worth mentioning the fact that VW's Herbert Diess has been publicly praising Tesla, saying that they're the company that is leading the way, they're the company to catch, they're their most ferocious competitor. And in addition to that, VW are recently holding a meeting with around 200 of the managers, literally having Elon Musk as a special guest, explaining to them how they can start transitioning to EVs. Let's ignore that. Not relevant.
And Tesla only sold 241,000 cars in Q3.
Yes, that's right. They only saw more than 70% year-over-year growth, delivering less than 150,000 vehicles in Q3 2020 and a mere 240-something thousand in Q3 2021. 70% year-over-year growth. It's nothing.
GM sells 2 million. Toyota sells, 2.7 million. And Tesla, so their sales increased by 41,000 cars, and they're only going to increase those sales by roughly 13,000 cars in the fourth quarter. So you're talking about traditional automakers selling millions of cars versus Tesla selling 241,000 cars, and that growth slowing materially.
You know what's actually slowing materially? The class clown's ability to make any sense. So here we are looking at Tesla's trailing 12-month data by quarter. Specifically, we're focusing in on vehicle deliveries. Given the fact that Gordon claims that their vehicle delivery growth is slowing materially, I just wanted to have a look at this apparent material slowing in vehicle delivery growth because it seems to me it's actually accelerating. Am I imagining things? Speaking of imagining things, I keep having this crazy recurring hallucination that Tesla's constructing 2 new factories simultaneously, one in Berlin, one in Austin, enormous factories that will materially accelerate Tesla's deliveries for a number of years. But obviously I'm imagining that too, right?
Market share. Europe, their market share has dropped from 33% to 12%.
Not this again. So first of all, Tesla's Europe market share. What happens when the Berlin factory begins ramping and gets to 500,000, then 1 million, then 1.5 million, then 2 million vehicles produced per annum? Any ideas? Second of all, we've had this discussion. The whole market share declining, it's meaningless. The entire EV market itself is growing. The more electric vehicles that begin selling to customers, the lower Tesla's relative market share overall by default. If you start at 100% because you're the only company making EVs and selling them in a market, then another company starts. Even if they sell one car, your market share declines, but you can still be increasing your number of vehicles. You could double your vehicles sold every single quarter, and you'd still have less market share because now there's another vehicle available.
The U.S., their market share has dropped from 86% to 66% with no competition. In China, their market shares went from 23% to 11%. So when you see competition coming, they're losing market share. So this idea that they have this significant upside, the numbers actually speak completely different to that. So when Gene says they're going to go to millions of cars sold, the numbers just don't support that.
I honestly don't know how this Muppet says these things with a straight face. I've got to give him some credit. I mean, it takes some skill. As for things not supporting things, reality doesn't support anything Gordon Johnson has said about Tesla in this entire video so far.
And again, when you sell to a rental fleet, any automotive analyst will tell you, Tesla is a car company. It's not a software company.
Did you guys notice that? Any automotive analyst will tell you blah, 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 blah. You guys may have heard the expression, to a hammer, everything looks like a nail. The automotive analysts have been dead fucking wrong on Tesla from day one because they're not an automotive company.
95% of their revenues come from selling cars. Their other 2 divisions are hemorrhaging cash and have for quarters. When you talk to an auto analyst, selling cars to a rental car company from an automotive perspective is done from a point of weakness, not strength. So I think they do have demand problems. I think we're going to see that play out through 2022. They have no new cars, and they have a ton of competition coming. So I don't think you're going to see this tremendous growth in their auto sales. And I also think they recognize some of those sales from the Hertz deal in Q3, which is why the numbers surprised to the upside. let's see what happens in Q4.
Anyone else get the feeling that Gordon's butt hurts, like really hurts? Let me know in the comments below. He's gone off the deep end here. He's now claiming and insinuating that Tesla's deliveries from Q3 included deliveries to Hertz. That's why their numbers were so good.
It's your big chance, Gordon. Let's throw in the towel. It's $1,000 stock and $1 trillion market cap. Let's throw in it. Let's turn. Let's go bullish. Let's turn it on. It's finally time for you. Let's embrace it. What do you think?
Absolutely not.
Oh, no. You're kidding.
Now,
I mean, hey, round of applause. That was definitely one of Joe's finest moments. Absolutely barbecuing the class clown here.
it's insanity, right? I mean, they announced this Hertz deal. It's a one-time benefit to them, max of probably $500 million. And yet the stock has gained $200 billion in market cap. And with respect to what Ron Barron said, without Elon Musk, there wouldn't be EVs. We completely disagree with that. Without policies that force you to buy EVs, there wouldn't be EVs. Without governments basically implementing socialist policies, there wouldn't be EVs. So when you think about, the tax credit, right? So is this a benefit to Tesla?
So this is a very good question here from Gordon. Is a $7,500 tax credit to customers buying a new Tesla of any benefit to Tesla at all? I can't wait to see what Gordon has to say about this.
Right, Tesla's non-unionized, so they're going to get roughly $7,500 per car if this passes, which our contacts in D.C. aren't sure it will in the current form. However, the unionized guys are going to get $12,500. So there's a huge benefit to buying a GM or Ford car versus buying a Tesla car.
So Gordon Johnson, in a shocking turn of events, has said something that is grounded in reality. As it's currently proposed, and this is still all tentative, things can change. Tesla would be benefiting from about a $7,500 tax credit, meaning a consumer purchasing a new Tesla vehicle gets $7,500 off the purchase price. Pretty good deal, because at the moment they get $0 off the purchase price. Net, this is a massive boon for Tesla. However, consumers purchasing a union-made electric vehicle, and by the way, when I say electric vehicle, using the term extremely loosely here, this also includes plug-in hybrid electric vehicles, which require a battery smaller than that which will be found in your girlfriend's vibrator. The point is, union-made electric vehicles will benefit from an additional $4,500 credit. Now, why would this be the case? Well, it's quite simple. The Democratic Party of the United States and the President of the United States are extremely, brazenly, shamelessly corrupt. By the way, before you get your panties in a twist and talk about Orange Man bad and why aren't you talking about Republicans, I just want to be really clear. They're not relevant to this discussion. I'm not making any commentary on them because they are not the ones proposing this biased deal. There's always one or two morons when I point something out, instead of actually acknowledging the truth of the matter, they immediately go, but what about this? What about this? If you happen to be among the tiny handful of people who had that extremely predictable reaction, I just want to point something out. You may want to reserve your participation in any discussions about anything ever, because it seems apparent that your emotions cloud your ability to reason. And for those of us who have emotional maturity beyond that of an infant, I want to just point out some facts for the moment, putting our emotions to the side. We are currently looking at political donations from the United Auto Workers Union, a union for automotive workers. We're going to look at their political donations to both political parties in the United States, the Democrats and the Republicans, since 1990, the past 30 or so years, 3 decades. You notice the blue? They're donations to the Democrats, and in the red there, you can barely see it. You probably can't see it on screen, it's so tiny. Donations to the Republicans. Is it possible that the millions upon millions upon millions upon millions of dollars that have been donated from the United Auto Workers Union to the Democratic Party may have influenced their proposal about this electric vehicle tax credit? The answer would be yes. This is shameless political corruption. This is bribery at its finest. But of course, political donations don't count as bribes, even though that is literally what they are. So there is absolutely no doubt this is an extremely unfair, biased proposal. However, net, it's still a positive for Tesla, because currently people purchasing a new Tesla vehicle aren't receiving any tax credit, any rebate. If this passes, that will change, and people purchasing a Tesla will receive a $7,500 credit. Net, massive benefit from Tesla. Yes, it's not fair, but at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter. Let's go, Brandon. Sorry guys, I don't know what that was. Moving on.
So looking at the benefits to Tesla versus everybody else, as per the current framework, they're at a big disadvantage, not advantage. So I think that's something to consider.
I think Tesla's going to be just fine. By the way, I just want to talk a little bit more about this proposed credit. It is obscene. I mean, way too much money. EVs transitions happening already. I get it, the idea, incentivizing people to buy EVs, it's great. But up to $12,500 for a new vehicle purchase. Oh, dude. Oh, shit. Man, that's right, just print some more money, everything will be fine. So at the end of the day, with or without an obscenely generous, ridiculously over-the-top EV tax credit, Tesla will still sell every vehicle they make for years to come. This is not going to affect Tesla either way, other than the fact that if this EV tax credit passes, Tesla will be forced to raise the prices of their vehicles. Otherwise, wait times are going to become multiple years, and that is just unreasonable. So I hope you guys and girls have enjoyed this video. It's fun to see the two extremes of the Tesla stock spectrum. You've got Gordon the Class Clown Johnson. Last I checked, he's got like a $69 price target on Tesla stock. You've got Gene Munster on the other end of the spectrum talking about Tesla becoming a $2.5 trillion company in just a few years' time. Let me know in the comments below. Who do you think's closer to reality? Gene Munster or Gordon Johnson? I'm sure you guys and girls can guess my thoughts on the matter. I don't make merch designs like Tesla stock to the moon just for the hell of it. I do this because I believe this is where the stock is headed over the long term. Don't forget, there's a link in the description if you want to pick up your own Tesla stock to the moon merch or other designs. And again, I do want to apologize. The butt plugs still sold out. Could not have anticipated the amount of demand for these things. Hopefully they'll be back in stock soon. And just finally, a quick heads up, I'm going to be recording another exclusive Q&A on Patreon in the next 24 hours, number 97 if you can believe that. So head over to Patreon and submit your question. And of course, you can see the latest updated Tesla stock price targets. I made a few changes to these last night. There's a card in the corner. I'm Stephen Mark Ryan. This is Solving the Money Problem, and I love you all. And don't forget the BlockFi Bitcoin Rewards credit card where you can earn 1.5% Bitcoin back on every purchase. There's a link in the description. You can also earn up to $250 in crypto bonuses when funding a new account on BlockFi, also linked below. And finally, don't forget your free stocks with WeBull and Stake, also linked in the description. These great offers also help out the channel. Thanks so much for watching. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. And of course, if you have any ideas for future videos, let me know. I read all your comments. P.S. If you're still watching, you're awesome. If you'd like early access, exclusive videos, regular Q&As, our private Discord server and more, consider supporting the channel at patreon.com/solvingthemoneyproblem so I can keep creating content for you guys. There's a link in the description. You can now also become a member of the channel for some exclusive perks. To learn more, click the join button next to subscribe. And don't forget to check out our merch store. Either way, the best form of support is you being here and watching, so thanks again.